In commentary, the Dream Team's back once again. It's a very good afternoon to Ree Dolahenty. Welcome, Ree.
Hey, how you going? It's so nice to be back up on the hill and sun's shining, and I'm actually feeling a little bit nostalgic today.
It's a bit of a homecoming for you, Ree. Spent a lot of your netball career here at the Lavington Sports Ground, a very familiar setting for you.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's so nice to see some friendly faces and all here to celebrate a big milestone for Ange DeMamiel today.
Absolutely. Hannah Davies in commentary. Welcome, Hannah.
Thanks, Gus. Great to be back as always.
Second time you've been to Lavington, and you were chatting off air. One of your potential fancies for the flag, potentially.
Yeah, look, I've decided that I think Lavington are probably a dark horse for the season, one that could definitely go all the way just based on the last few weeks. In particular, I think there's a lot of drive in this team and they could take it all the way if they choose to.
Absolutely. Lavington Panthers playing host to the Wangaratta Rovers today on our O&M Live match of the day. And Ree, a little bit something different in pre-game today. We've got a very special guest joining us.
And a great friend of mine, Sarah Meredith, so past Lavington player, currently what will we call you, assistant coach of B grade, manager?
Yeah, assistant coach / manager.
So it's nice to have you with us. How are you finding this year's netball season so far, Says?
Very different for me. Haven't missed a season since 2013. So, oh God, is it even longer than that maybe? So yeah, it's nice to be on the sideline. It's exciting to watch. The girls are really playing well.
How's life been? You've got a new bub and your world's changed dramatically in the last 12 months. What's it like?
Flipped upside down. I was warned, but no one can truly tell you about the change that motherhood is.
And obviously in recent years, Sarah, we've seen a lot of netballers come back to the sport and perform even better than before they had a little bub. Is netball still in the cards for you in the near future?
Not this year, unless we have an injury in A grade or something and I have that pressure. But for now, I'm very content on the sidelines.
Yeah, and how are you finding that new role? Obviously something very different than playing. How are you finding working with Millie?
Mill's phenom. Yeah, she's the absolute coach. I'm just the game day manager, kind of put my 2 bob worth in and a few defensive drills around the place. But yeah, Mill's coach and I'm just there.
Sarah, it's a new look Lavington to the era you and Ree dominated in, but it's a very new look Lavington side and a side with a lot of potential and upside as well. There's some really talented young netballers making their way through the ranks.
Absolutely. Maddie Plunkett, this is her second year of netball, her shooting stats have gone through the roof. We've also got Ange's cousin. She's playing phenomenally. Really great side. Yeah, good vibe too.
Well, Sarah, really appreciate your time joining us here in pre-game on O&M Live Netball, and we better head over to the pre-game ceremony. Thanks, Sarah.
Awesome. Guys.
Thanks, Sarah.
See ya.
We'll get the microphone over to our good friend Tamara Matthews, who'll take that over, and when the proceedings are ready, we'll join it over there. But nah, it's all right, Tam. We'll just turn it on from over here. You'll be right. Great to have, of course, 2 legends, Tamara Matthews and, of course, Sarah Meredith. And Sarah looks like she could just come back out and play on the court. She's a phenomenal athlete, and with a bub now, like you girls just mentioned, quite often players can come back and play better netball after having a baby.
Absolutely, and I caught up with Says during the week and we were kind of talking about what that feels like, and I actually messaged Sky Hillier and checked in to check how she had pulled up after her comeback last week, and she actually mentioned that she was feeling sore from Pilates the night before I messaged her than actually netball on the weekend. So I think that's a good sign, but I think that's a key to how our sport's evolved and to keep some of us oldies in the game a little bit longer.
We're not too far away from heading over to the pre-game ceremony, Ree. A massive milestone for the Lavington Panthers today.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and for Ange DeMamiel, 200 games, that's really a sign of dedication. I think I said during our chat earlier today that Ange in that time has had 3 beautiful children. She's had seasons off during that time. She was part of our 2013 premiership team and just is a stalwart of the game. She runs hard in wing attack and centre and just gives her all to this team and this club. So really massive and lovely to see that the girls in the club have acknowledged her today.
Yeah, well said. I got you over there, Vinnie Jones, who's doing the mic test ahead of our pre-game ceremony, and we'll cross over there very shortly before we go into our preview. But milestones make such an important part of our game, and we'll cross over to the pre-game ceremony led by Vince Jones.
Congratulations to Ange Smithy, as she was originally known as back when she first arrived in 2005. Today, 200 games, for the Lavington club. A fantastic effort. played in the Premiership in 2013. Took a few times off to raise some wonderful kids. Puts up with Mammal. Yeah, I'm just looking around, but you got one behind you. No, the big fella. But it's a fantastic effort, and on behalf of the Lavington Football Club, Netball Club, I'd just like to congratulate you. Thank you very much for your support to the club and stayed here for a long time. And congratulations on achieving a life membership as well.
Absolute superb recognition from the Lavington Panthers, life membership.
Thanks.
Thank you.
For Ange Demamiel.
Thank you.
We might even see if Tamara Matthews or Coach Linda Charleston say some words.
On behalf of Ange's teammates and friends at Lavington, we just had some things to present to her. We've got a ball signed by everyone at the club. And a lovely plant. And on behalf of your teammates, we have some flowers for you as well. Congratulations, Ange. We love you lots and we love what you put out there every week.
So as you can hear through the special effects microphone, a nice little crowd building here at Lavington, and lovely recognition for someone who's put so much time and effort into this netball club, Ruth.
Yeah, absolutely, and probably nice for Linda to do that as well. When Ange came to Lavington in 2005, her and Linda actually played together, so that's a nice little touch there as well. So they've been good friends since then, and yeah, hopefully today can be a really positive for the Lavington girls and on their ladies' day as well.
Absolutely. Hannah, let's dissect the starting sevens for the respective clubs. Lavington will probably start this game as favourite ahead of a new look Rovers, but looking forward to seeing who's going to take the court for the respective clubs.
Yeah, so in goal shooter, Maddie Plunkett starts with Emily Stewart as her goal attack, Maddie Lloyd, the captain, in wing attack, Ange Demamiel, the 200 gamer, in centre, Steph Clancy in wing defence, Maggie Thompson in goal defence, and Grace Hay in goalkeeper, with the subs bench of Olivia Sanson, Taylor Ferbra, Amy Houlihan.
Of course, some very formidable names there for the Lavington Panthers. And we spoke about it the last time we were here. You actually had a week off, but the Lavington two shooters, of course, Maddie Plunkett has been joined with some company this year, and it's pretty good company as well, with experience at the top level.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think Emily Stewart, with that experience, and Maddie, I'm really interested to see how they team up today. Obviously, when Sarah Sanini left to go to Yarra because of location-wise, that left a big hole in the A grade here at Lavington. So interesting to see how Emily moves, and I think they will become a really nice combination because of her height and her strength. I envisage that she'll hold fairly strong, and so Emily will become that really moving target in that circle.
Hannah, what are you expecting from the respective clubs today?
Look, I am expecting a strong win from the Panthers today. I have predicted some bigger blowout games so far this season, and I'm trusting my gut with this one too.
You tipped a 20-point margin last time we were here. Can we get a margin from you today?
I'm going to go by 30.
30, that's a big blowout. I'm not that mean. I'm probably going to say something around the 15-goal mark, Ree.
I'm going to say 22 to the Lavington girls.
Just
I'm going to split it in the middle. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does blow out, and I think that'll be something that the Lavington girls will look to. If they are ahead, they'll be looking to really stamp their influence on the game and keep the intensity and really push the margin out, because what sometimes happens is we find come the fourth quarter there's a bit of a margin and they tend to let that the other team back in for a few easy goals. So I think they'll be looking to, if possible, if there's a nice big margin, to push it out as far as they can.
Chatting to Sarah Meredith just before the game, the shooting percentage of Maddie Plunkett last week was remarkable, 88%, Ree.
And I imagine she put up a fair chunk of their goals as well. So that's phenomenal. 88%, that could be, 2 or 3 misses depending on how many shots she put up, which I haven't got to have a chance to look at the exact stats, but they will be looking for a performance like that again today. And I think that takes a bit of the pressure off their goal attack if she's shooting like that.
And for the Wang Rovers, starting in goal shooter is Sarah Ritchies, Kelsey Wilson in goal attack, Sammy Kretzheim in wing attack, Gracie Reid in centre, Bryony Simpson in wing defence, and Janelle Mills goal defence, with Jenna McLeod, the captain, in goalkeeper. With the subs bench of Michaela Trethowen, Courtney Hillier, Charlotte Proft, Andrea Ubergang, and Sky Fulton.
As we're underway in the first quarter, thanks to Urban Greys, Gus McLeod, Reid Dollarhenty and Hannah Davies with you. It's the Lavington Panthers and the Wangaratta Rovers live from the Lavington Sports Ground on O&M Live.
So the Rovers off to a hot start so far. A bold pass there. And hey, you can tell she's already getting involved. Bit of a niggle. And a good rebound there from the Panthers.
Yeah, great positioning by Maggie Thompson there under the ring, making sure she had front position to get two hands on the ball. Really well supported by Grace Hay to bring that ball out of their goal third, defensive goal third, sorry.
So there's Demamuel, 200 gamer today. And I guess 200 doesn't sound like that much when you say it, but when you think about how many years goes into that and how many seasons, I think it's like 14 years on average, 15.
Yep, absolutely. Well, if in our competition, if you play every round plus every week of finals, you've got to play something like 5 full seasons and not miss a game to knock up 100. So there's 10 full seasons plus a couple of babies in there. So it's brilliant, and it is quite a long time. And the Panthers have put their first goal on the board and are just now trying to combat a really nice defensive turnover and have done the same to Rovers here. So the Lavington defenders now working it out from their back end.
And a great transition down the court for the Panthers in the first quarter of this Urban Greys matchup. A little rebound there from Stewart. And the Rovers get another touch of the ball. And a great turnover. Good hands from Reed, keeps the ball in. Stewart out with the contact. So Rovers moving shooter so far. And a great intercept there from Hay early in the game.
And she'll be looking to do things like that all day. She's got beautiful timing, great elevation.
2.5 minutes gone in the first quarter, and that's on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. Lavington and the Rovers on O&M Live.
Already a good tussle here forming between Ange Demamuel and Gracie Reed, so we'll look to see how that continues as the game goes on, but both giving away a couple of contacts on the circle edge.
And a beautiful hold from Plunkett. Rebound needed, and another good pull-in from the Rovers, so they're willing to get in and be, gritty with those rebounds already.
And I think aside from Maddie Plunkett, they're very evenly matched in terms of height in there. Jenna Cloud is just a really, really strong, dominant player, and she'll be looking to use her body to kind of influence a couple of those defensive rebounds to get their team on the front foot.
So if you just joined the broadcast, the Lavington Panthers lead by 1 goal to the Rovers yet to score on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
So a relatively slow start from both teams. Plunkett looks a little unsettled under the post there. Another miss from her.
Hope I haven't put
Maybe
the buzzer on her.
the commentator's curse. Although, there we go. Maddie's just netted a beautiful goal. So once she gets her eye in, I think we'll see her really settle in there.
So Demamuel, Lloyd, feeds into her shooter there. Working it in. Demamuel on top of the circle and a beautiful pass over. Great athleticism there from Stewart just to keep that in above both defenders.
That was a really nice rebound from Emily Stewart there. But what I liked about the play from the Panthers then was that it was a 2-pass into the ring, and they waited to clear the space and gave the ball to Maddie Plunkett at the top of the circle. She didn't have to come out too far, but then she had to move to hit that baseline and did so really well.
Reed goes to Ritchie's. A great mover so far, Ritchie. She's holding off Hay. Gets the contact call. Can't find the net though, but with both defenders out.
And this is something we saw last week from the Albury Tigers. Not being able to convert in front of goal can come back to bite them.
Absolutely, and it only takes 2 centre passes for then that margin to have gone out to 4 and 5 goals, depending which centre pass it's on. So that will be what both teams are looking to do, is to find that conversion as soon as the ball goes into the circle, which the Panthers have done beautifully again, and Stewart finishes with a really nice goal.
So the Lavington Panthers move to 4-1 on the Cavalier Homes scoreboard. 4.5 minutes gone on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
So a smashing start for the Panthers in this Urban Greys first quarter. The Rovers, ball in hand, beautiful feed in there to shooter.
Yeah, Sammy Kratzelheim did a great job then. She really played on from that obstruction call, so rather than waiting for the player to be out of play, she stepped on, played, so she had that advantage of what the penalty gives to give them the front foot there. Very clever play from her.
And Stewart lines up for the shot. Can't finish it again, so shaky hands for the Panthers in the shooting circle, but a good rebound from Plunkett gets the job done.
So already the two dangerous shooters for the Lavington Panthers working their influence on this game, and the Rovers will be looking to claw one or two back here, Ree.
I think so. A couple of quick goals. What the Panthers are doing really well is they're forcing 6 or 7 passes before the ball's actually getting into the circle. So they're really tiring out that mid-court and making their goal attack in Kelsey Wilson, do a lot of extra work off the ball. So they'll look to try and combat that and put on a few extra hard drives to the ball rather than away from it.
So a throw in here for Stewart as the Panthers look to reach goal number 6. Plunkett holds, and a beautiful take from her. So already we're seeing that distinctive role between the holding shooter and the moving goal attack.
6-2, favouring the Panthers on the Cavalier home scoreboard, Ree, as Lavington restart from the centre pass, and Maddie Lloyd working her way into the contest.
Yeah, definitely. And what we'll see from Maddie is just really consistent timing all game. Whether or not her and Ange, if there's a swap between the centre and wing attack positions, will be interesting. But Mads will run and run hard. She'll come forward and then she'll drop back onto the circle as well. So Rovers will have to watch for her, particularly as the game unfolds. So see Grace Hay have a look at that ball and nearly went for a fly. Something I think as the game progresses too, she'll get her eye in and we might see her try and pick off one of those beautiful balls on the circle edge.
It's a role she played very well against Myrtleford 2 weeks ago. Saw her pick up our Urban Greys player of the day, and she's a very talented all-round athlete, Hannah, as well, is Grace Hay.
Yeah, she's a dual code athlete playing Bushies football and Vic Country, so kept very busy in the week with all her sporting.
And still at school, so trying to juggle that as well.
Really?
Yeah, yep. So year 12 this year. I had the pleasure of coaching Gracie here up at Lavington in the under-16s, and she is a workhorse. She just wants to prove herself, and she loves to give 100% to every team that she's in. And the way she's evolved in the past probably 4 to 5 years is exceptional, and I look to see big things from her.
As Plunkett sinks another one for the Panthers.
So 7 minutes and 41 seconds gone in the first quarter. That's on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, and Lavington just starting to find their groove, Ree.
Yeah, beautiful drive then from Maddie Lloyd to hit the circle. Her player did have a little bit of a stumble, so she was left with a little bit of space in front of her, but that was a really nice connection. And again, straight to the circle edge.
Now, Hannah, I'm not sure if you can see above the court, but they are kangaroos driving, or running, I should say, across the paddock. And you were chatting about the timber courts and the luxurious commentary boxes you've come from. Now we're in a nice marquee and there's kangaroos out the back. So you're settling into life in the bush yet?
Yeah, look, I was a little bit distracted earlier. I'm just watching these kangaroos jump past me. I've never seen that at a netball game, I can confirm.
Welcome to the Ovens of Murray. It's the Rovers and the Lavington Panthers. First quarter action for Urban Greys with Hannah Davies, Reed Olahenty and Gus McLeod on O&M Live.
And there's Grace Hay just coming through, reading that ball beautifully. She had her eyes up. She could see exactly what was happening. She rolled off her own player and just really read the play and communicated that really well with Maggie Thompson in goal defence there. So brilliant work from Grace Hay.
As the Panthers throw in, DeManuel, Lloyd, DeManuel again, and there they find Stewart. And again, feeds off. Can't find the net yet, but a great rebound.
So the score moves to 9-2, favouring the Lavington Panthers on the Cavalier home scoreboard. And not only is she getting lots of shots in, Maddie Plunkett, she's also getting a lot of rebounds, Ree.
Yeah, and that's crucial from a goal shooter, particularly of someone of Maddie's height too. That's your job in there, is to convert the goals. But the biggest job, and probably for the defenders in your team, is that you want to see those shooters backing themselves for the rebound as well, because then you are left with one less job to do, so the ball's not coming back. As we see Sarah Ritchie's get called up here for a held ball, which credit to the defenders again, great hands over pressure over that ball, causing her to take that extra second too long over the shot.
So the Rovers work down, but a great intercept there from Thompson. And she'll feed into Stewart. And again, into Plunkett. So that appears to be the game plan. Can't finish it off, but another great rebound. Not finished off, though, a stepping call.
Ree, tell us a little bit about Jo Creswell. It's her second Ovens of Murray club. She's taken over the helm at the Wangaratta Rovers. What sort of style of netball we see from the Rovers under Joe?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it evolves. Jo herself played at Raiders for a little while when Darren was the coach there previously. So I've seen her play through centre wing attack, and she likes to play a short, sharp game. So I think that's something that they'll be looking to see. I think she'll be taking a lot of guidance probably from someone like Jenna McLeod that's been at the club for a long time to see what has worked before. But we're seeing quite a new team as well. So I think they're aiming for the short and sharp. We're seeing them trying to have a little bit of movement through their goal circle, which is they're getting plenty of ball. It'll just be the conversion of the accuracy, and they're getting plenty of turnovers in the defence end as well. So I think what they'll be looking first of all is to kind of nail the basics with some definite combinations on court, and then really try to up the intensity from there.
So Kelsey Wilson, a rebound there from Hay. She's been excellent at the rebounds today.
And a nice outlet ball to Ange DeMamiel to further up closer to that centre third, which already places them on the front foot to bring the ball down the court.
So Thompson for the Panthers works them into their goal third. And a great smother, would you call it? Deflection? Not sure what the right terminology
We'll call it a deflection, but that's something...
Smother. That's something I'd say, Hannah.
But that's something Jenna McLeod does really well. She's a really, really tenacious player, and she's the heart and soul of that defensive end at this club, and you will hear her get vocal as the game goes on. She just is really, really passionate, and here she is with her intensity again.
And a great shot there from Stewart.
So Lavington lead by 10 goals, 12-2 on the Cavalier home scoreboard, and the Rovers will restart from the centre.
So the Rovers just trying to find options. The shooter comes out, goes over to Reed again. And a beautiful little dribble there from Rishi. It was very, very Maria Toutayer, to say.
And I think maybe waiting for the call to come, which it didn't. So she'll need to watch for that and just make sure that she's playing on, not waiting for the whistle to go. Just want to note, Gracie Reed and Sammy Kretzheim are doing a great job here. Sammy's actually finding a lot of space, and I think what the Rovers girls will need to do as the game progresses is to actually release the ball to her in the first second, because they're waiting half a second too long and then she's covered again.
Another one for Plunkett there.
First quarter action on O&M Live thanks to Urban Greys. If you just joined the broadcast, we've played 13 minutes on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. Lavington lead this one 13-2.
Lloyd feeds to Stewart. And over again to Plunkett. Beautiful little pass over there. And Plunkett finishes it off.
Seems early days, Rita. It's not really an obvious matchup to take on Maddie Plunkett. She's such a dominant force under the post.
Absolutely, and I was just about to say, Janelle Mills actually had really, really great positioning then. She actually had the front position, but the precision of the pass and Maddie Plunkett's extra height, she just couldn't combat. So it'll be interesting if the Rovers maybe make a little bit of a change up and try and keep Maddie out of the circle when she does come out for that drive, and leave it as a one-on-one with Emily Stewart and either Jenna McLeod or Janelle Mills in that circle.
Great little play there from the Rovers in that circle, using that moving shooter role very well. But again, Grace Hay on the rebound. She is unstoppable. If the Rovers are going to climb back, it has to be through that shooting accuracy.
Yep, and I think they've had quite a few ins to their circle, so they will be disappointed, particularly a couple of their shots have been at close range as well. So if not today, they might not be able to change that stat too much, but looking ahead into coming weeks, that will be something that I think Jo will be pretty heavy on and wanting to change.
And we always say that if you can't get that shot in, if the accuracy's not on, you have to go to your rebound role straight away. I think at the moment they're probably just waiting a little bit, probably just disappointed in the moment, but you've just got to stay in the game and push through that and just try and get that ball again.
Yeah, and I think Maggie Thompson and Grace Hay, they just position themselves so well for the rebound as well. Like for Grace, that is one of her definite strengths in her game. So I think the Rovers girls need to be thinking of that and thinking of their positioning and boxing out for that rebound.
So timeout as the ball is recovered in this Urban Greys first quarter.
I actually think it's gone into the velodrome, has it?
I think it's under the car.
Oh, is it? There you go. I didn't see that. I probably would have offered to get it if I've seen it. First quarter action on O&M Live thanks to Urban Greys. Not too far away from the first quarter wrapping up. We've just ticked over 15 minutes on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
As we see that 2 goals for Rovers in a quarter of O&M netball, that's not enough to come anywhere near game. So they'll be really looking forward to pushing the accuracy up in the second quarter.
As the siren sounds for quarter time, it's Lavington 14 to the Wangaratta Rovers 2. You're listening to O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
First quarter.
Well, what's this one? 13-2.
Ready? Welcome back to O&M Live Netball. Gus McLeod, Hannah Davies alongside Ree Dollar-Henty. Not too far away from getting underway in the second quarter. We might have to double check with the scoreboard at Tenet, but I reckon it's 14-2 here on O&M Live. The Lavington Panthers certainly with a convincing lead. And it'll be the Panthers, I should say, to restart proceedings. Hannah, as we cast our eye over the changes from the quarter-time break.
Yeah, so no changes for the Panthers other than the goal defence, sorry.
Taylor Ferber has come on as goal defence, so Maggie Thompson having a little bit of a spell there, and I think that's probably just having the lead that they did, just changing it up, giving some fresh legs out there, and I think that will be something if the Panthers continue to push. We'll see just a positional change here or there.
And then for the Rovers, a few changes. Gracie Reid into wing attack. Reid, we were a little surprised by that. Thought she was really excelling in centre.
Yeah, I thought her and Ange DeMamiel were very evenly matched. I didn't think Gracie Reid did anything particularly wrong, but we have seen that Sammy Kretzheim has gone into goal shooter, so they're probably just looking for a little bit more speed to hit the ring in Gracie Reid there.
And Michaela Trethowen has gone into wing defence. She's another AFL player playing in the VFLW with Essendon, so great to see what she can do on the netball court now.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure if this might be Michaela's second season here at the Rovers, but she's previously a Wang Maggie's girl as well. So plenty of experience in the O&M. We saw her run through B grade just before we started as well. So probably looking to try and cement her position here in this A grade team.
So Panthers move down. Great little tip there from Trethowen. So Lloyd will take the throw in for the Panthers. Plunkett holding, but leaves Stewart home alone under the post. Beautiful pass into her from Lloyd.
That was really great movement from Maddie Plunkett. She was managed to, I think we call it the slash arm, was the really technical term we gave it. But she was able to move and she drew both defenders really, really beautifully. Emily Stewart, had the back space, and that pinpoint accuracy in delivery made it really, really easy for her.
And another great draw in there from Plunkett as she sinks another.
Ray, I just want to ask you on the trend of basketballers coming to netball. Of course, when Maddie come across, there was a lot of talk about the hype and what she can bring to this team, but she really is starting to be one of the more dominant goal shooters in the Ovens and Murray A grade.
Yeah, a few of us have got a bit of a thing. Like, netballers make really good basketballers, but basketballers like to tell us that they make really good netballers. But no, I think just her presence on court as well. She's got really great height, but she's really strong, but she's willing to learn, and really, we've seen already today, she's really willing to move too. She's not just standing there under the ring waiting for the ball.
I think Maddie might have heard us from our commentary position. A little bit of a chuckle and a look towards the broadcast box. If you just joined O&M Live Netball, it's 15-3 favouring the Lavington Panthers, and that's on the Cavalier home scoreboard. Here's Hannah Davies.
Yeah, lucky we're saying good things, hey?
Always good things.
And here's Emily Stewart, a long-range shot. She'll go over. Oh, and beautiful there from Plunkett to keep that in. Oh, I saw it that she was in, but umpire calls otherwise.
Well, Rita said we're not going to say anything negative, so we'll leave it at that.
It's always the angle at which it is, but probably an unlucky call, and we'll see if that karma comes back. But, I mean, the Panthers girls have a lead now, so it's really not one of those crucial calls.
All it does is just eliminate something for the highlights package, I think. As we go around the grounds, of course, more A-grade action today in the SSNA Ovens and Murray, and Yarrawonga have bounced back from their loss last week at the hands of the Lavington Panthers. A few girls have come back into the A-grade side, and they had a big win over the Alpine Saints.
Yeah, 65-16. That's huge in our game. And I just had a look, and the quarter time score there was 17 goals to 1. So I think Myrtleford will be really disappointed, but Yarrawonga will be really, really happy with the performance that they've put out. They will have been bolstered by Hannah Symes returning, I think, perhaps from a little bit of a stint with a COVID lockdown, isolation period, and also Bridget Cassar. I did notice in some of the highlights from last week that Abby Jones returned to their A-grade team, which is great. And so considering that, Lavi did a great job to get ahead, but I know the Yarra girls will be really happy with that win and to have really pushed that lead out over the 4 quarters.
So the Rovers looking to go into the circle, but a great cover there from Ferbra. Rovers keep the ball in hand though. And a great finish from Kretzheim, and the goal shooter. She's definitely one of the shortest goal shooters in this comp right
Definitely,
now.
And very unassuming. A lot of the time over the past few years, she started in that wing attack role and swung into either goal attack or goal shooter. And I think it's a bit of her calm presence. She's also probably one of the longer serving players here at Rovers. So I'm wondering if just for a little bit of experience, just to slow the play down, calm that circle, and get the ball back on their terms in that goal shooting third.
So there she goes, Kretzheim. The hands of Hay getting her way.
Rita's heard a call from Joe Creswell saying no more long balls. Is that?
No more lobs.
Lobs.
Yes, which Jo herself, with her stature, will be on board with that. And so what they're saying is they're trying to cross that ball with way too much height across that defensive third for the Lavington girls, which when you've got Grace Hay and Taylor Ferber, two of our taller defenders, they're their bread and butter. That's what they live for down there. So they want to shorten it up and bring it forward to eliminate any of those cross-court high balls going.
So Simpson moves to Wilson. Kelsey Wilson for the Rovers was a Rising Star nominee in 2021. Her grandma is actually Tony Wilson.
Interesting. Tamara Matthews gave us that little bit of insight before the game. I didn't know that. And great to see Kelsey still situating herself here in A grade, and she's doing a really good job, and I think she'll be looking to find the ring a little bit more and convert some of those beautiful balls that she's gotten quite easily in the circle.
So DeManuel for the Panthers feeds to Lloyd, and a beautiful lob there, speaking of lobs, into Plunkett.
So if you just joined the O&M live broadcast, it's 19-6 favouring the Lavington Panthers on the Cavalier home scoreboard. And we're starting to see some real dominance from the Lavington Panthers.
Good movement there from Kretzheim. Leaves Wilson alone for the shot. Kretzheim choosing to take this. And a great goal from her in second quarter of this Urban Greys game.
And good patience there from the Rovers. It did take them a few passes to get it to circle edge, but once it was in there, it was nice to see the goal attack and goal shooter looking to pass to each other just to get that foot further closer to the ring.
So I don't know if you noticed there, Ree, but Emily Stewart has this awesome technique where if she feels she can't catch the ball, she'll actually flick it to Plunkett.
And I did notice that in the first quarter as well. So that's probably just one of those little minor 1%ers that I think she would have learnt up in Sydney. And that's a great trait, particularly when you've got such a strong and tall shooter in that ring with you to have that edge.
Yeah, she has, of course, just spent, I think it was 4 years with the GWS Fury in the New South Wales Premier League. New South Wales has, of course, brought a heap of talent. Their underage teams, the under 17 and 19, are smashing it at the National Netball Championships this week.
Yeah, and I think the finals for that may be played today or tomorrow. So, which is incredible to see. So, really expecting big things from her as the season progresses.
Ree, is that something we're going to see a little bit more of? Maddie Plunkett going up for those rebounds uncontested, because maybe a little bit of energy preservation from the Rovers. She's just got at least 3 or 4 foot on some of the defenders she's going up against.
Yeah, possibly, and possibly just conserving some energy. I would actually really like to see Jenna McLeod run out at goal defence. I think she will then clog up the space a little bit and make it a little bit harder for Emily Stewart. So whether or not that's something Jo Creswell looks to do in the second half, I think Jenna's dominance in that centre third particularly, she can make teams look like there's a lot more space than there is and pick off a couple of balls. So I'd like to see her run out at goal defence.
Ree Dolahenty's expert comments, thanks to the Insight Injury Clinic in Albury.
As the Panthers transition again, a contact against Ruth Alwyn of the Rovers. A beautiful lob there, but Plunkett for the Panthers just falls out of court. So DeManuel, top of the circle, and a little lob into Stewart in goal attack. Can't find net yet that time. So a throw in for the Rovers.
21-8 on the Cavalier home scoreboard, favouring Lavington, and the Rovers will bring the ball back in at their defensive end of the court, and a great interception, Hannah.
Yeah, Stewart is having a ripper game today. Can't finish it off with a shot, but her work in offense and defense has been awesome so far.
And what a really nice transition for the Rovers there. They just found space, 4 passes, and it made it to their attacking circle. So that's probably one of their best plays so far this game. So would really like to see that continue.
So the ball's being retrieved again from court as we see Kretzheim. A little bounce pass there and a mid-range shot. Finishes it beautifully.
And I think that shot that she just took is an example of why the change was made to bring her into the circle. She's not afraid of those tall defenders over the shot. She is really confident in her own ability and put that shot up lovely, as we see Maddie Plunkett do the same off a really nice quick hands from Emily Stewart under the ring.
Just that athleticism again from Stewart to make good of a bad pass or bad footwork maybe.
O&M Live Netball, thanks to McRae Motors. Great to have your company streaming across the globe on the Ovens and Murray YouTube channel, and a long-range shot converted for the Wangaratta Rovers, Ree.
Again, Sammy Kretzheim, what she doesn't have in height, she certainly makes up for in what she gives to this team. So I think that might be a change that stays. We've obviously seen a lot more accuracy this quarter, and they'll just be looking to close that deficit.
And Rhea, as a tall defender yourself, is it ever an advantage for, I guess, short shooters, a bit nippy, can kind of sneak around?
Absolutely. I much prefer to play against players that are my own kind of height and stature. So, yeah, credit to someone like Sammy. I've played against her a few times, and she really is unassuming. And all of a sudden you think you're next to her, and then the next minute, just like in that play there, she's underneath the post on her own and putting up another great shot.
So 2 quick goals in a row for the Wangaratta Rovers. O&M Live Netball, thanks to McRae Motors.
Now, interesting here, the Panthers had both their shooters out of the circle then, so they had to take an extra 2 passes to bring the ball down. So that will be something they don't want to happen too often, because some of those stronger teams, their defenders will keep them out of the circle, and that's when we tend to see those held balls, as the Rovers have just spilled over as well, as they tend to do. So the Panthers girls, probably just a little bit of miscommunication then with both shooters out of the ring.
And a contact call against Plunkett. I think she had the arms up there, the umpire called. So the Rovers have another opportunity to transition down. Just need more options. You can see a little bit of panic in the players' eyes.
And a few sideways drives. So as Kelsey Wilson's just given us a beautiful drive onto the ball, coming to the ball nice and short.
And again, another held from the hands of Trethowan. So the pressure of Lloyd seems to be getting to her a little bit.
Yeah, and I think credit to the Panthers defenders as a unit then. They all were covering their players, and great hands over by Maddie Lloyd. I think the Rovers girls are a little bit tentative to give the ball in the first instant, because the Panthers girls are running side by side. But I think they will need to start to do that, because otherwise their players are just going to get so tired from having to drive and re-drive to the ball.
As the netball will trickle into our broadcast booth here on O&M Live. The Panthers will bring it back into play. 23-10, favouring Lavington. It's on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
Tell you don't get close to the action than this, do you? As Stewart goes up for another one.
Bet you don't have that in Brisbane, Hannah.
Not quite. You do sometimes get players jumping on the table, though, as you'll see. But so the Rovers, a much better quarter for them in this Urban Greys second quarter. As Simpson feeds into Wilson, who'll take that long shot. But the long hands of Ferbra.
And Tay and Grace Hay have been teaming up really well in that circle together. And, yeah, the height of both of them combined. Taylor's arms just are long, but then when you're playing with her or against her, they just seem to be even longer than that. So I think the Rovers girls too might want to start to chuck in a couple of balks to get her arms out of the way to give themselves their best chance.
So Lloyd takes the throw in here. More hands from the Panthers.
Thank you.
So DeMamuel.
Bryony Simpson and Ange DeMamuel have been having a really nice contest here through this centre third. I think Bryony's defensive pressure has been really good, and she's really been trying to work that ball onto the circle edge.
So DeMamuel finds Lloyd with a very close Trethowan at her face. DeMamuel wins this contest for the Panthers.
So 26-11, favouring Lavington on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
And another great intercept there from the Rovers defence. So second quarter for Urban Greys, they've really stepped up.
Yeah, they have, and I think that was credit to the defensive pressure that Jenna McLeod put in front of Maddie Plunkett, so it didn't look like there was any space to give her the ball. And then Janelle Mills has done the hard work to get up and take the ball in front of Emily Stewart. And we see them convert it with a goal. So that's something that they're going to be looking to do more and more, is to really reward that defensive effort.
So I guess you'd definitely be keeping in Sammy Kretzheim, Marie.
I think so. I think that's been a really crucial change. And I think Kelsey Wilson's been doing a great complementary role. It'll be her accuracy that will need to really, really step up.
So here's Mills for the Rovers. Just can't find someone yet again, so they seem to be getting a little bit stuck in this centre third.
And the right idea there from the Rovers girls, just the pass in was just a little bit too high for the hands of Kelsey Wilson, but great to see that they're willing to give that ball when it is on.
As the siren sounds for half-time, got a little tacker in front of the scoreboard. Can't quite read it. 26 plays 12, favouring the Lavington Panthers on the Cavalier home scoreboard. We'll take a break and bring you the second half on the other side of this. It's O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0. The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it. Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
The golf is doing well, but yeah, I'd love to see it just giving them a bit through the big ball.
So, Ree, your challenge this quarter is to find a highlight of the day.
Yep.
Whether it's 2 or 3 nice passes or whatever it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we might have to, yeah. Good idea. Welcome back to O&M Live Netball. Great to have Kane Aradanchikis courtside with us here. Trav Cartwright on the camera, and of course Luke Chilcott and the team at Wangaratta Computers bringing you today's live stream on O&M Live. Gus McLeod, Hannah Davies and Reid Dollar-Henty with you as Lavington restart proceedings in the third quarter for Martin's Travel Group Albury.
Yeah. Great.
Oh, you go, Hannah.
I was going to say a great start there from the Rovers. Trethowan just getting a hand in on it early. Start the pressure straight from that centre pass.
And I was just going to congratulate them on their second quarter effort. We were speaking about it at halftime, and a 13-10 deficit in that quarter. So they really, really came back. So I think what they would want to do in this half is to start the way that quarter finished and to keep pushing forward from there.
Yeah, it was a massive quarter for them, and you can see it's actually potentially forced off Emily Stewart. Could just be resting her, but Olivia Sands.
Credit to them as well. They haven't made any changes this quarter, so hopefully they can keep pushing and really make that that first quarter deficit a little bit less this quarter.
So a little ball down there from Wilson of the Rovers over to Kretzheim. She's been a big game changer for the Rovers so far today.
And Reid, the Rovers are slowly working their way back into this contest. 27-12. It's not quite the margin that you'd suggest they'll come back and win, but they're very competitive and showing a lot more grit and determination.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Trethowan there pulling up with the contact just to try and put a little bit of pressure on the pass coming in. So I think that's what they'll be looking to do. They'll be looking to clog up the space and making the Panthers girls really have to take a few extra passes to get to the circle and really have to change things up. But a really nice defensive effort there from Ange de Mamil, stopping that ball and slowing down the Rovers' run here in their attacking third.
Simpson from the Rovers, they looked way too apologetic to put the netball near us, given we are here for them.
And great hands over pressure from Steph Clancy to really get the nice touch on that ball and to bring it into their attacking circle, which Liv Sanson just nets a beautiful goal from nearly 3/4 out of the circle.
And she's had quite the meteoric start to her netball career. She was a rising star in 2021 and moved up from the C grade straight to the A grade, I believe.
And again, fortunate enough to have coached Liv here at Lavie, and she's someone who has obviously Sanson named synonymous here in the Ovens and Murray. She has been coming up to Lavington Panthers senior training for as long as I've been at Lavie. So that my first year was 2013. She'd be here watching us, taking drills. She'd be up shooting goals beforehand. So she's really lived and breathed the Lavington culture. So it's lovely to see her appearing here in A grade.
Another multi-talented athlete, of course, Liv, a brilliant cricketer in her own right as well, and working her way through the female cricket junior pathways as well. So she'll probably get to the crossroads somewhere down the track, and be forced to potentially make a decision if she wants to take either a cricket or a netball to another level.
Yeah, and again, what a great an asset to have at a sporting club that has those two hats over it as well. So yeah, credit to Liv, and another youngster that is finishing school as well. So trying to juggle all of that, plus perhaps have to make a decision. It's a real credit to her.
As Lloyd feeds in a beautiful ball to Plunkett, who finds the net very easily in this Martin's Travel Group Albury third quarter. And there's Wilson, goes to Kretzheim, finds Simpson again, so the Rovers happy to move it around.
And a much better pass there, a centre pass set up from the Rovers too. Kelsey Wilson just timed her drive out really nicely to get that ball just in that centre third, but then the timing of Sammy Kretzheim to come out of the circle was brilliant as well. So they'll be looking to make some of those systems a little bit more smooth, as the game progresses. And I think looking down into Lavington's attack end, I think Liv Sanson and Maddie Plunkett are just really feeling out the waters and trying to work out where each other is at this point in time.
So the Rovers, another chance to move down the court. Trethowan straight into the shooter.
And I think perhaps that's a reason they've put Trethowan in that wing defence position. Since she's been injected at quarter time, she's really transitioned the ball beautifully down, which has been really fantastic and enabled Rovers to get that little bit extra on the board.
So it seems a few key changes from Creswell, have really made the difference for the Rovers today?
At this point in time, I think so. Again, I was surprised that their defensive end stayed the same. Again, as I said in the second quarter, I'd love to see Jenna run out at goal defence, but credit to both her and goal defence in Janelle Mills. They're making it really hard for the Lavington goalers to position themselves at the start of this third quarter.
So 32-14, favouring Lavington on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard. Third quarter action on O&M Live. Gus McLeod, Ree Dollar-Henty and Hannah Davies with you.
The Rovers really enjoying their bounce passes here in this.
And I think against a tall combination in defence, that's something that they've got to look to, just because obviously a little bit harder for a taller defender to get down to the ground. But these defenders at Lavington are really exceptional at that as well. So I think they'll need to still change up from that and not revert back to that for every single pass.
And a coach killer there, an incorrect throw in, gives the Panthers another shot at goal here. Sanson moving around. And she'll take this mid-range shot, finish it beautifully.
And that was a much better positioning from Liv. She really found that midpoint of the circle and entered away from other players. So much better.
So Clancy to Ferbera. Into DeManuel. Plunkett, like usual, wanting to get nice and close to the post.
And her going straight in enables Liv or the goal attack, whoever it is, to really find and use the edge of the circle to their advantage for their movement, which Olivia did really well then to get the ball and then have it on the baseline at her disposal to work closer into the circle.
I think one thing we haven't seen as much from in the Lavington attack end is that moving circle. I think one thing I would like to see is Sanson working with Stewart just to get that moving circle as an option.
Yeah, and interesting to see if we might see that in the last quarter, and whether or not it's Olivia that drops back into goal shooter or Emily Stewart comes on to goal shooter. I think that would be interesting and a real point of difference for this team as well.
So midway through this first quarter on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. And a few changes starting to work their way onto the court for Lavington as Liv Sanson converts another one.
Yeah, and her accuracy is something that she is very, very proud of as well. She's someone that comes up and puts up 100 shots probably every day, if not more, and is one of those players that when she's practicing, it's like game time as well. So she's getting up for every rebound at the same time.
35-14 on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard, favouring the Panthers.
The battle here between Michaela Trethowan and Maddie Lloyd has been really great. I think Trethowan's really quietened Maddie Lloyd's game down a lot. She's put a lot of pressure on Maddie's drive, so that means that Ange DeManuel's come into the game a little bit more. So credit to Michaela Trethowan there. She's really shut down Maddie's influence on the circle edge.
As Reid for the Rovers takes this throw in. Again, using her defenders there in that centre third. Finds Simpson and Kretzheim. Unfortunately, can't finish off the shot, so a throw in here from the Panthers.
O&M Live netball, thanks to McRae Motors. Lavington 35, the Wangaratta Rovers 14 on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard. And here's the Tony Wilson medalist, Maddie Lloyd.
She'll go to the 200 gamer, DeManuel. Into the young gun, Sanson. And a good rebound there from Plunkett. And finishes it off really nicely in this Martins Travel Group Albury third quarter. So the Rovers work down again, Kretzheim. And Wilson, mid-range shot here for the Rovers. Just can't finish again. Great rebounding from the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't know if the long arms of Taylor Ferbera have just gotten in Wilson's head a little bit, and she's worried that she's going to get a little nick of the ball as she puts the shot up. But she's done really well into getting that ball into the circle a little bit closer to the post. So a lot to take away, but I think her confidence will be a big thing as the game progresses and the weeks roll on.
So, Reid, talk us through the development of Maddie Plunkett. Obviously, we spoke about her in the first quarter on O&M Live netball, but a basketballer converted to netball, and the rise and the improvement in her game has been really astounding.
Yeah, I think so. And I think as she is learning about the players around her as well, that's helping her develop as well. I did say pre-game I saw her down at JC King practicing this morning, which is really fantastic. So I think she's just someone that's really willing to learn. And obviously Lavington have had a few changes as well in personnel since she's been here. So I think what she can bring as well is some strength and some ideas coming from that basketball background about a bit of different body positioning and using your body a little bit cleverly to get the ball. But she's really improving in coming out of the ball, except there she was probably standing still for a little bit too long. So I think what they'll like to see is if she's coming out of the circle or she's driving to the ball, that she just doesn't stop in no man's land, that she drives out and then clears to make sure there's enough space for the player behind her to come into.
So the Rovers, Trethowan again, helping out to that attacking third. Little drive and drop from Reid. But an out of ball there.
Oh, that would have been one of our 3D lanes play of the day had that come off from Reid there.
The umpires just seem to be raining on the highlights parade a little bit today. Just those few line calls. Of course, we saw Maddie Plunkett with a brilliant shot on goal, disallowed with a foot being out of play. And here she is right on cue once again, Ree.
Taking a really nice shot, and that's probably one of the longer ranges of her shots there that she's netted. So as Sarah Meredith alluded to in our pre-game, her percentage has come up quite considerably since last year. So I think as we were talking about her game, that's one thing that she's probably personally looked to improve.
And a new look defence in the ring for Lavington at the minute as well, Ree. Grace Hay having a well-deserved break. Of course, she's playing a lot of sport at present.
Yeah, and Maggie Thompson and Taylor Ferber have played a little bit together here and there. And interesting, when Maggie came to us at Lavie from the Bulldogs, she was a goaler, and Taylor Ferber as well here at Lavie has played in goals as well. So a few similarities. But I think probably one of the strengths of the Lavington defence is that the three of them work really well together and in partnership with that wing defence position as well. So I think they can slot any of their defenders into any of those roles and have quite a smooth transition.
So Maddie Lloyd feeds into Plunkett all too easily, but decides to pass off when perhaps she should have taken the shot. So the Rovers transition, but an unfortunate stepping and offside there.
Yeah, and that's probably maybe one of Maddie's things to work on is that ball placement as well. As she learns what the defensive players are doing, she kind of played that ball right into Jenna McLeod's hands. But credit to Jenna McLeod, she was positioned really well in front of Liv Sanson to get two hands on that ball. And then Liv Sanson just nets another beautiful goal.
To take the score to 38-17 on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard. Not long to go in the third quarter on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. Lavington in a game that's really ebbed and flowed in this second half, Ree.
And there's a 3D lanes highlight of the day from Taylor Ferber, and a contact call, maybe an obstruction call, unfortunately marring that one, but she had great hands over Maddie Reid then, as we see Taylor Ferber in everything contesting that ball with Sammy Kretzheim.
I feel sorry for the crew at 3D lanes. Every highlight gets rained on today.
We'll have to let the defenders know to just keep it a little bit cleaner for us.
And it's just that 1 second thing. So, yeah, doing a great job and really making it hard for the Rovers girls to get it into their circle.
So a Rovers throw in here as they try to keep their scoreboard alive. A good option from Reid. Goes to Wilson. And Kretzheim on the move. Just a little fumble there from Wilson, but umpire says play on. Again, Trethowan helping out there. As Kretzheim will take that shot, but it falls a little bit short. So DeManuel puts the Panthers in play, but Trethowan, that's got to be a highlight for sure, Ree.
I was just waiting till Sammy Kretzheim took that goal to make sure that we could have a real positive at the end of that. But yeah, Michaela Trethowan coming through with a 3D lanes highlight of the day. That was a really lovely read from her, coming off her player right up to that transverse line to take a really beautiful intercept.
A 20-goal lead favouring Lavington on the Martins Travel Group Albury scoreboard, 38-18, as Sanson converts. So, Ree, it's a great asset to have really strong players coming off your bench in A-grade netball. Someone like Sanson, who's got some fairly good rivalries in the shooting department for Lavington. But as a team and as a squad, it's great to have that depth coming in and off the bench.
Yeah, definitely. And I think credit to Lavington. I think they've got that depth through B grade as well, as we note a couple of the girls sitting on the bench from their B grade team too. So I think that's something that probably Linda's really working on with this A grade team, is that everyone really knows their role depending on what position that they're playing, and so that when they come on the court, be it in a really close game or where the margins come out a little bit further, that they can still have an impact in their role and that they can make these real changes seamlessly.
As the siren sounds for three-quarter time, as we wrap up some Inside Injury Clinic special comments from Ree Dollar-Henty. We'll take a break on O&M Live and bring you the final quarter on the other side of this. It's O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero. The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
Come on.
It's getting worse as the sun's getting lower. I couldn't even find a second ball. It's like...
O&M Live Netball, fourth quarter action coming your way thanks to the Martins Travel Group in Albury. The Rovers will restart the proceedings as Lavington lead 40-19.
Nice 3 consistent quarters for Lavington, 13 goals and 14 goals. So I think what they will be looking to do is to really push that 13 or 14 goal margin, goal accuracy to maybe a 15 to really, really extend this margin just a little bit.
And just quickly as we go around the grounds, a good start for the Roos against the Magpies. They lead by 8-4 at quarter time.
So for the Panthers, we've already seen a shooting combination change, as we were discussing just in that last quarter. Stewart has come on in goal shooter. We're leaving Sanson in goal attack to give them more of a moving circle, just widening their options. And Reid back in centre for the Rovers to just bring on a bit of speed and electricity in that centre third.
And a nice goal there netted by Olivia Sanson. So interesting to see how her and Emily really utilise this moving circle. And I'm really interested to see how Stewart goes in this goal shooting position, whether or not she utilises a nice quick drive out of the circle or she tends to stay in and just create that rotation with Liv once inside the circle.
And a good rebound there from Thurbro, who's now in goalkeeper. Grace, hey, you'll see there in wing defence. Don't often see her there, Ree.
No, not so much here, often in that goal circle, but I think credit to the Panthers girls. They've done the work down there so they can look to trying a few different combinations, and I think Grace's biggest issue there will be making sure that she doesn't run into the circle. She'll be dominant there, and I look to see her maybe fly through and take a few balls in that centre third.
And at this stage of the game, Ree, with Lavington, with moving Grace into the wing defence, looking to try a few different things out.
And on cue again, Maddie Lloyd took a really nice, not a clean intercept, but one of those 1%ers coming off the ball. So I think that's it. They'll just be looking for Grace to try a few things in that position, but really limiting Kelsey Wilson's impact on getting the ball to the circle edge.
And those 1%ers, those little tips, even if they don't come away with ball, are just what puts the pressure on the team overall and eventually can lead to a turnover.
Absolutely, and Kelsey Wilson, we see a great one there, was a contact call. She was going for the ball, but it just slows the ball down for these Rovers to try and get in position to really turn the ball over.
Little pass there from Stewart to Sanson. And a beautiful finish from her.
Takes the score to 43-20, favouring Lavington, and that's on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. Great to have them on board in 2022.
Great little bounce pass there from Ritchie's to Kretzheim. So DeManuel moves to Sanson. Finding themselves quite free, the Panthers are.
And a lovely feed there from Maddie Lloyd into the circle, into Stewart, and finished off with a really nice goal. A credit to Sammy Kretzheim in goal shooter. I think that's been really clever by Joe Creswell, to make that change in the circle. And I think as the weeks roll on, I think that will be something that they look to. I think she will need to start in that ring and just really calm the play down, and whether or not she stays in there for a whole game, but I think her experience and her sense of calm down there has really made it easier for them to get the ball into the ring.
Lloyd tries to feed into Stewart, but I think perhaps missing the height of Plunkett. That's a second ball that's gone into the hands of McLeod.
And Jenna's set up then in both instances. She's had real front position. In that one, she was side on, so it made it look like there was a lot of space for the ball to go into, but it probably didn't have enough height on it, and Jenna was able to move her feet really nicely to get that front position and two hands on ball.
So the Panthers work it down in this centre third.
Well done to the Rovers girls. They've really slowed this transition down already for the Panthers. That's probably one of the longest sets of passes that it's taken the Panthers to get the ball through that centre third. So well done to the Rovers girls.
Contact there against McLeod. It is incredibly physical between Stewart and McLeod in that circle there.
It's what we like to see in the goal circle.
You would say that as a defender. No way. So Sanson. Beautiful throw in there, just positioning herself with the space on the baseline, but can't finish it off. So the Rovers will have another shot here.
Fourth quarter action on O&M Live, thanks to Martin's Travel Group. Book your next holiday and tour with Rosalie Martin, the team at Martin's Travel.
Ritchie's coming out wide. Kretzheim out of the circle, so need a shooter in there now. As Reid goes back to Trethowan. She's been really reliable there as that last option there. Kretzheim needs to get closer. And a contact there from Furbo. But a brilliant rebound from her.
And just that height difference we see there, making all the difference. Tay had very much the upper hand and a beautiful two-hand rebound.
So a great little intercept there from Trethowan has gone the way of the Rovers, as I think Maddie Lloyd's hand just spilled the ball out.
Maybe a heel out of court. So, yeah, unfortunate, but well done to Trethowan. She's run really hard all day and really made Maddie Lloyd have to work for the ball. That's probably been one of the tighter tussles on court today.
Especially since she played the full B grade game just before this.
Yeah.
Great fitness.
Maybe that AFLW is coming into fruition.
I'd say you right there, Ree. So here's Furbo. Moves it down to Hay, another AFLW star. As Lloyd.
Bit of an early drive from Liv Sanson then, but credit to her, she's cleared out of the space, and it's just meant that the Panthers have had to take an extra couple of passes to get to the ring. But as well, Liv was coming up early because she could see that Grace Hay was off balance with the pass, so she was trying her best to be a really good teammate, but then just having to correct that. So good opportunity in a game like this to have the time to take those couple of extra passes.
So just quickly around the courts, I should say, on O&M Live Netball, used to my footy terminology. The Magpies have hit the front against the Roos. They led that one 9-8 early into the second quarter.
And I envisage that game will just go like a game of ping pong all day until there's a quick conversion off someone's... I've lost my words there. Of someone's turnover or set a pass. Yeah, so I think that'll be the nature of the game all day there today. So interesting to see if which club can get the upper hand off a quick turnover.
So the Lavington Panthers, they notch up 45 to the Rovers 21, and that's on the X-Ray Group scoreboard midway through the final quarter on O&M Live. Thanks to Jacob Toyota Used Cars.
We saw a really nice play there from Emily Stewart. She got Jenna McLeod out of the circle on the circle edge, and she had the ring all to herself, and I think that's why she's probably someone we're looking for as the Urban Greys player of the day.
As Hay moves the ball down with her defenders. Maddie Lloyd, she's surely another contender. Racking up a lot of feeds today. Jamamuel, the 200 gamer, a little stuck, but using Hay as that backup.
So, Hannah, obviously I don't get involved in the player of the day with my limited netball knowledge, but what sort of things are you guys looking for when selecting the Urban Greys player of the day?
Oh, who's going first here? I'm probably looking for someone, if we're looking at probably attacking skills, probably looking for a goaler that's either had a great interjection on the scoreboard or getting a lot of ball in the circle and creating a lot, not only for themselves, but potentially for their other shooter, depending what position it is. Mid-court, someone that has applied the pressure defensively, but also, as Hannah mentioned with Maddie Lloyd, provided a lot of feeding expertise as well. And defensively, I think someone that shuts their player down. So whether or not that's a wing defence, really shutting the wing attacks input from the circle edge, or if it's a goalkeeper or goal defence, really working hard to keep their player out of the circle. I think they're probably the key things I'd be looking for.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't necessarily have to be that starry player. You know, we do have the 3D lanes highlight of the day, but sometimes the most consistent player can trump that just through, you know,
doing the basics well.
Yeah, and doing the little 1%ers. You can see Stewart there, just a really beautiful take to the ball.
And you just mentioned doing the basics well. That's something that sets Emily Stewart above a few of the rest of the players in this competition. Obviously, coming from a higher background, she does do the basics so incredibly well. It does excel in a few areas as well, Ree.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we can see how well she's teamed up here today, both with Maddie Plunkett while she was playing out at goal attack, but now again in that goal shooter role. And it's really nice to see that in the goal shooter role, she's not trying to play goal attack at the same time. So she's really taken that step back and just trying to move, watching what Liv's doing and timing her drive if she's come out of the circle, or just creating positioning and movement. And here just holding there in front of Jenna McLeod like a really really tall goal shooter would. So showing a lot of strength as well.
Some great rebounding from her, but the Rovers come away with the ball. Hard-earned that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that Janelle Mills and Jenna McLeod have really worked hard all day. I think they'll both be extremely tired by the time the game's over, but I think they've both created a lot of pressure in that circle, and I think that's a combination in a defensive circle that we're going to see just so much more improvement from as the season progresses.
48-23 favouring Lavington on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. And we've seen their class start to come out now in this last quarter, Hannah.
Yeah, certainly. I think we knew that Lavington would push it out a little bit, but I think for them they have a really great level of fitness and base fitness, and that they can, do the basics the whole way through. And then I'm really excited to see them come up against a tougher team where they do have to just push themselves that extra percentage.
Ree, that 22-goal margin you spoke about might be coming to fruition.
I was just having a look at that. This is probably the closest margin I've had so far this season. Surprisingly, I think I've been hopeful for a few closer games, which we will see as the season progresses.
And a beautiful shot there from Sanson. So she's slotted into this A-grade lineup really well. She is that, I guess, bench shooter, but she's proving that when she does come on court, she can be that starting shooter if she needs to as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for Liv, that's been something that she's been working on as well since making this kind of A-grade squad, if you want to call it, or team. I don't know what they refer it to, but I think that's a big thing for Liv, would be making sure that when she comes on, she's interjecting herself into the game and really having an impact.
Emily Stewart converting once again, have to be on track to be a contender for the Urban Greys Player of the Day, and her class is really starting to shine in this last part of the game, Ree.
Yeah, and really offset as well by the passes coming in from Maddie Lloyd and Ange DeMamiel. I think Ange DeMamiel and Gracie Reed have had a really nice, consistent tussle here in the mid-court in that centre position. They're both probably really quite quiet players. They're not flashy or anything like that. They're just really consistent for their team. So I think both of them have done their roles really well, and that's helped offset, particularly in Ange's 200th game, by Emily Stewart behind her.
51-25 favouring Lavington on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. Not long to go in the final quarter. Gus McLeod, Hannah Davies and Ree Dollar-Henty with you on O&M Live.
Beautiful drive there from Hay to find Lloyd.
Another contender for the Urban Greys Player of the Day. She obviously took the, took the biscuits for that one a couple of weeks ago.
Got the chockies.
Got the chocolates, there it is.
Or the burgers, if you want to say that.
Another consistent player. And I think, Grace, it'll be nice for her to think that she's got that other position under her hat as well.
And of course for the Rovers, I think Michaela Trethewin has been another one that's she's sort of ebbed and flowed throughout this game, but she's really pushed when the team needs her. We just saw that turnover from her, and that is a time when, you have to keep pushing in this game, and she certainly is.
And I think she's been the difference in this defensive end, particularly in her ability to bring the ball down the court. Her transition has enabled Rovers to have that bit more of the ball coming into the circle, as we see a really nice feed, shooter to shooter from Sammy Kreltzheim, and finished off with a nice goal from Sarah Ritchie's, playing against her old club in Lavington as well. And nice to see Sarah's playing up in A grade, as she played B grade here at Lavington, played in on a couple of occasions in A grade, but really nice to see her develop. And I think as well that's another shooting partnership as the season progresses that's just going to go from strength to strength.
So 53-27 favouring Lavington on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
Good work there from Reed just to keep the ball in that far corner. Gives the Rovers another shot at goal here with Kreltzheim. She's been another game changer for the Rovers today.
And with another really, really nice goal, and from that mid to long range shooting as well. So I think that's something that Sammy's probably really worked on over the years, is that not having so much height, she's just got to back herself to take some of those long bombs, and does so well.
Another good pick up there from the Rovers, who are just doing their best to just keep concentration alive and stay in this game, and they certainly are there with Ritchie's.
And taking the last couple of goals there as well, so really fighting out to this last whistle.
Fourth quarter action on O&M Live, thanks to Martin's Travel Group in Albury. Not long to go in the final quarter on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
So Ferber goes to Lloyd. And hey, Panthers working really hard here. And Sanson, a beautiful shot there.
And that was a really nice textbook play from Lavia. It went from centre to wing attack, and Olivia Sanson presented beautifully at the top of the ring.
So that wraps up full time here on O&M Live. We'll get Ree to go and pick our Urban Greys player of the day. But at full time, it is the Lavington Panthers 54 to the Wangaratta Rovers 29. A great game of netball. And Hannah, your tip of potentially a smoky to go all the way. Lavington is showing they've got some really good depth off the bench in the likes of Sanson and so forth. But their A-graders, their top-end talent really were too strong today for the Wangaratta Rovers.
Yeah, I think Lavington have set the bar really high for themselves, and you can tell what their own players' expectations are for themselves and for the season.
Absolutely. Welcome our Urban Greys player of the day to the broadcast. Ree, take it away.
Emily, how you going? I'm good. Congratulations, Urban Greys player of the day. How are you finding the change from obviously Premier League in Sydney to the Ovens and Murray League?
It's a big difference, but at the same time it's very similar in a lot of ways. I really like the culture of the footy and the netball, and the girls are just amazing. They've welcomed me like no tomorrow. It's amazing.
Get you to bring that microphone up just a little bit closer, Emily. But that's one of the questions I want to ask you on. Obviously, the netball you've played previously up in Sydney doesn't quite have that football netball club culture to it. Have you really enjoyed that part of clubland here now coming to Lavington?
Yes, no, it's amazing. Thursday night dinners with the footy boys and the footy girls is amazing. Yeah, it's a really good way to bring in supporters to watch our games.
And Emily, of course, you played goal attack and goal shooter today, and you played spectacularly in both.
Thank you.
Do you have a preference for the future to come?
Goal attack.
Yep.
I think, I like running around a bit more than goal shooter, but either way, I'm happy.
I'm happy to keep feeding Plunkett there in goal shooter.
Oh, yeah, amazing target to feed to.
And then nice as well to be able to coincide jump in with Liv Sanson as well.
Yeah,
obviously play
a moving circle.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And do you think that's a strength coming into the competition for you guys to be able to change up your circle in that way?
Definitely. I think it tricks the defenders halfway through the games if we swap every now and then. Yeah, it should be good.
Hey, Emily, just quickly, talk us through your decision to come to Lavington. I'm sure you would have been looking around when you made the move to 10 about which club to come to.
Yeah.
Why did you settle on Lavington?
Honestly, Ange de Memuel, shout out 200 games. So her husband is my cousin. So I kind of got in touch with her and she was like, nah, you're coming to Lavington.
So it wasn't really a choice, I suppose.
No, it wasn't really a choice, but I'm really, really happy I made the decision to come here.
And a lot of people around the competition probably didn't think Lavington had what it takes to go all the way this year, but a big win. I was going to say, I reckon I'm one of them as well. A big win over Yarrawonga last week. A big win today against the Rovers, and you guys are really starting to build some strong momentum.
Yeah, definitely. I think we are the ones to watch out for.
Very good. Congratulations, Emily. You're our Urban Greys player of the day. Congratulations on the win, and we look forward to watching you throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you, guys.
Emily Stewart joining us on O&M Live Netball. She's our Urban Greys player of the day. She's new to town, so she can get a couple of the best burgers in Albury, Wodonga. I reckon Chris and the team down there at Urban Greys will look after her, of course. A great range of burgers, beers, and, of course, the new frozen yoghurt system. You can pour it, scoop it, pay it, and weigh it at Urban Greys, Dean Street in Albury. And that just about wraps us up from Lavington today, ladies.
That's good to know about the frozen yoghurt. I didn't know that, so I might be finding myself down at Urban Greys tonight for dinner.
Gluten-free option as well, so they've got all bases covered at Urban Greys, and I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. A really good game of netball today from the Lavington Panthers, ladies. They're shaping up to be a real powerhouse, and potentially the Lavington of old. That strong era of netball's coming back, Ree.
Yeah, I think so, and credit to them, and credit to the Rovers girls. I think the margin blew out in the end, but they didn't make it seem like it was that big of a margin. So I think for them, they'll be looking to really make sure that their first quarter is a really intense quarter and that they can convert a couple more of the goals that they had ball coming into circle for. And I think credit to the Panthers girls, they made seamless changes that didn't change too much, and I really look forward to seeing them up against a Corowa or a Wang Magpies and when they play Yarrawonga again, and just to see if any systems have changed and how that evolves as the season progresses.
Yeah, I definitely think Lavington are one to watch this season. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there were a lot of opposition teams watching on the live stream today, sussing out Stewart in particular, how they can beat her.
Well, of course, two of those clubs might be the Wangaratta Magpies and Coro at Rutherglen. The score's locked at 18 apiece as we head to half-time there. So if you want to keep your eyes posted on that one, the Ovens and Murray website is the way to go. A cracking broadcast from you once again. We look forward to being back next weekend.
I look forward to it.
Hannah Davies, thanks for your time on O&M Live.
Thanks, Gus. Always good to be here.
And big thank you to Travis Cartwright, the best cameraman in the business, Luke Chilcott and the team at Wangaratta Computers for putting the live stream together.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0. The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
How many subscriptions do you have? One for entertainment? And one for news? And meditation? One for sport? And one for music? Whatever you're into, you can now manage select paid subscriptions in one place and save up to 10% with Optus SubHub. Discover what's trending and save by bundling them all together. Streamline your subscriptions with Optus SubHub. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from